Lahren, the host of Tomi Lahren is Fearless on Outkick. Tomi Lahren, former Bill Clinton advisor, pollster Mark Penn, who I'm going to be really nice to tonight. I made myself a promise before you came on. Tomi, I do have to start with you. I got to tip my hat to you. I mean, you have been the most steadfast of anybody saying he's going to be replaced and it's going to be Gavin Newsom. You've not backed off that position. I would assume after last night, you're more locked in than ever.
More locked in than ever. And I'd also like to say, when you hear Governor Gavin Newsom say things like, I've got Joe's back, notice he's not saying, I will not replace him anymore. I will not take the nomination. He's not saying those definitive words. He's saying, I will have his back. So, Sean, again, this sends me a lot of signals that Gavin Newsom is being a good little soldier for Joe Biden. He's his #1 surrogate. He's out there following him around, cleaning up his mess, eating up his crumbs like a vulture. So when the time comes that they convince Joe Biden to step down, or convince Jill Biden, rather, then Gavin Newsom is going to be the one waiting there in the wings. I hear a lot of people float other names. I don't hear anybody floating Kamala Harris, by the way, but that's a different topic. You hear Gretchen Whitmer, you hear maybe some other promising Democrats, but those other Democrats have not put in the work. They have not gone on a red state tour. They have not gone to Israel. They have not courted foreign leaders and Chinese presidents. They have not put in the work that Gavin Newsom has put in on behalf of himself, but on behalf of Joe Biden. So I am more steadfast than ever that Gavin Newsom will replace Joe Biden by the time we hit November.
He does have a record that he's going to have to run on, and that California record is pretty radical left, more radical than Joe Biden. That will be a big issue. You know, I'm sure there are going to be meetings, Mark, that none of us will know about. Private meetings with Joe. And I'm sure Joe and Jill Biden will be, people will be pleading with them. For the good of the country, I think it's important that you step aside. You've served the country well, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not convinced that the Bidens are going anywhere. With that said, I want to know what you think. And if he was to be replaced, how do he get past Kamala Harris to Tomi's selection of Gavin Newsom?
Well, I think I've been equally steadfast on the other side of this, saying that Joe Biden's the nominee. He was elected by the Democratic voters in the primaries. He's not going anywhere. I will say that last night's, debate creates some potential turbulence. I think the Democrats are going to see what happens with the polls. I think that, people in Congress are going to be worried, But I don't think that there's really going to be a change. I think that things are going to consolidate back around Biden in advance of the convention, and they figure, look, we'll pull this thing back together in the convention. But there will be some turbulence here.
As well, we're in the middle of the turbulence. Probably it's a good thing for him that we're heading into the 4th of July weekend. But I assume these conversations will take place. If you would to put out odds, Mark, what would you say the odds are that he's the candidate come November?
Oh, I still think it's kind of 8 or 9 and 10 that he's the candidate, because it really takes a lot to unseat a sitting president who has control of the party and wants to run. And as you saw, he got out there today. He wants to run. In politics, when you give up your seat, you're done. Oh. And people do not want to give up that seat and those planes.
Tomi, what are the odds you're correct?
I'm sticking with my original thought. I don't think Joe Biden's going to have a choice at this point, and Jill Biden's not either. They're not going to go and continue to be embarrassed like this. They're egomaniacs, so they're not going to let their legacy come down to this. Joe might not even be able to stand by September. Let's just be honest.
All right. Well, one of you are right. Just don't know which one yet. We'll find out. We're going to watch it unfold. We only have 129 days till Election Day. And if they try a dirty trick, I don't think it's going to go over well with the American people. If they try and jump over Kamala Harris, they got a problem. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.